Hey, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of What If Moments for Moms. I'm so excited that you took some time out of your busy schedule to join us here. Today, I am so excited for you to meet my new friend, Jen Thompson. She has a ministry where she writes incredible stories and encouragement that you are going to want to check out for sure at Truly Yours Jen. So grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea and take a moment that's just for you. Welcome back. Again, I'm so thankful that you decided to join us today. So today we're going to talk about the challenges of parenting teens. And as most of you know from watching the show, I have a toddler. So this is something I'm not familiar with, and I don't know if I'm even ready for or to think about. But my guest, Jen Thompson, she is an incredible author, writer, mother, friend. I'm just so excited for you guys to meet her and get to know her ministry. So Jen, thank you so much for joining me here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yes.
You are so kind to say those things. I'm very excited to be here.
And you're local, so we're close.
I am.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
great. That always works out well.
It's really nice. It's nice to have you here in person.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So let's get started. Just introduce yourself. Tell me a little bit about your family, your ministry, kind of all those things.
Okay, yeah. So, like I said, my name is Jen, and I am married to my husband, Patrick. He was my high school boyfriend. We started dating when I was 17, so the summer before my senior year, and he is my absolute best friend. And we have 4 children. Sophia is 17, so she's a senior. And then we have Amelia. She's 15. She's a sophomore. Nyla is 13, almost 14. She's in 8th grade. And then Patrick, our baby, the lone boy bringing up the rear, he is 11 in 5th grade. So
wow.
Yes.
You're not busy at all.
It's, oh my goodness, it's so crazy. Right now is a crazy season.
Yeah.
And at the end of this school year, we will have our baby leaving elementary, 1 leaving middle, and our first to graduate high school. So I'm already telling everybody, I will be in a puddle on the floor for the entire month of May. So if anybody just wants to bring me coffee and pillows and Kleenex.
Coffee and pillows. Sign me up for coffee and pillows. That's
I guess they don't really go together. One wakes you up, but you know what I mean.
You can relax with your coffee. It sounds dreamy. I don't do that ever. But
I know. It's a hope, right?
This is my greatest hope is coffee and pillows. So tell me, so Truly Yours Jen.
Yeah.
This is your social media, where you write. What made you start doing that?
So I've always loved writing.
Okay.
I actually started a blog when the kids were pretty little. And then when I turned 37, I remember I had a conversation with one of my really good friends, Colleen, and I said, by the time I'm 40, my goal is to be published in some capacity, whatever capacity, that's just my goal. And so she really encouraged me. She's like, well, if you want to do that, you should really contemplate starting something that's kind of yours alone on social media or something of that nature. So I launched the Truly Yours Jen blog, and that's when I started my my social media accounts. But it's really, my writing has always been, for me, it's a form of, I guess, just therapy in one way. It's I can get stuff out, but then it's also a way for me to just minister to others. I really, part of the reason I did Truly Yours Jen is I want it to feel like you're receiving a letter from a friend.
Yeah.
I want it to be encouraging, heartfelt, and just to talk about the hard things that people don't always want to talk about. I think we need to talk about the hard things, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like when we don't, that's when we can isolate, get depressed, feel alone, because it's well, I'm the only one dealing with this because nobody's willing to talk about it.
Yeah.
We've had previous shows talking about postpartum. And
that's a great one.
But it's just not, it's kind of mentioned, but it's not really I had before being pregnant and having Charlie and all of that, I only heard the term a couple times because I really wasn't in that world. I wasn't a mom yet. So I didn't really know of it, but the things that I did know of it are not really the full extent of it. So it's just, having those conversations with people just makes you feel so not alone. It's like you can just take a deep breath because it's like, okay, I'm not crazy.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
it's not just me, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and then it removes shame too, because I feel
Yeah.
like sometimes with certain topics, there can be this shame that we were never intended to have that becomes attached to it. And
Yeah.
it's like once we bring those things out from the darkness into the light, they lose their power.
Yeah.
And then so many other people, like you're saying, stand up and like, oh, wait,
Me too. Yes.
I'm struggling with this. And then you can really get into like the trenches of the hard stuff. And and then I feel like you always leave a little bit lighter when you have those conversations.
And with a new like connection with that person too, because it's like, okay, now we have this bond over this really hard thing.
Yes.
But now when I'm going through it, I know a person that fully understands and I can call. So I appreciate that so much about your ministry, is that you do, it's not just the fluff, you really do dig into the harder things, which I think takes a lot of boldness and guts to do, because not everybody wants to go there.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. And it's not always easy, but I personally feel like it's what I've been called to do. So
you do it so well.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I encourage all of you, if you are not following Jen, I encourage you, we'll have all of her information on the screen. Follow her on her socials, sign up for her emails, whatever you can do. It will encourage you. So I encourage you all to do that right now.
Oh, thanks.
Yes. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, so today is not a hard subject at all, right? This is one of the easy ones. So challenges of parenting teens. I can't imagine. Like I just can't even imagine. Like Charlie's 2. He's almost 3. Okay, so we're a couple months away from 3. I can't imagine him being any bigger than that.
But I think that's one of the beauty of parenting, is that you don't have to imagine. It's like right now you have your sweet little almost 3-year-old boy, and you'll get to that. There's all the stages. Ever be 11? Well, I remember when we first moved here. So we moved to the Nashville area 6 years ago, and our oldest was in 6th grade, and my husband, I remember sitting on the couch having a conversation about how it seemed so weird to imagine that someday they would be like full-grown humans that are like walking around. And now they've all, except for Patrick, they're all just about, the girls are all at their maximum height. So we're like there. And that was just 6 years ago. And now they're just, they get big fast. Yeah. But there's also, in talking about the struggles of raising teens, I also think it's important to say there's so much joy in it too. It's like in any season of parenting, it's like you hold the challenge and you hold the joy, they exist simultaneously in all the stages. And I had no idea what to expect with teens. And I know I was kind of a difficult teen. I was more of the like slam the door and scream variety. Yeah. So I got
a really fun one.
Oh, great. Yes. So I just thought, this is what is going to happen. This is what I'm destined to experience. And that's not the case. Not all teenagers end up like super moody and, like sulking all of the time. Yeah. And there's a lot of joy in it too. Yeah.
So I know,
but also struggle.
I can only imagine. Like I see right now, like I feel like my husband and Charlie like have this like struggle for like the alpha male in our house, and I can't even imagine when he gets like tall and like I call him my tiny human right now, but like a full size human. Like I can't even imagine like what that's gonna look like, the pull and push of that, because right now I'm like, this is hysterical. Like they're fighting over dominance. That's what's happening right now. Like,
so you just sit back and just watch how it all plays out.
I do. And I tell my friends, I'm like, I prayed for, we had a hard time conceiving Charlie, and I prayed for a very long time for a baby Bobby. And now I tell people, I'm like, you just need to be really careful what you pray and like how specific, because I very much got a baby Bobby.
That's so
I know, it's so funny.
See,
it's so
God
funny.
answers our prayers.
Specifically sometimes.
Yes.
Yes, very. Okay, so one of the things that we talked about was the fact that it could be a little bit isolating.
Yes, that is actually one of the things I really wanted to talk about with you, because it's something I wasn't really expecting or anticipating. It can be isolating in a few ways. There's just like the basic, kind of like I was talking to you about it, when this is a very transient area. And so a lot of people will move here and have teenagers, and it's different than when they're little.
Right.
And you would just maybe go out in the neighborhood and the kids would play, and then you're sitting there talking to the moms, and all of a sudden you've developed these relationships because you're at play dates where the parents stay, or you're at the park where you're both sitting on the bench. Those things just fade over time. So you might still see some people at the sporting events, but even as the kids get older, that kind of changes, because when they're in t-ball, you're laughing and they're kind of, it's more playful, but then they get older and that even intensifies a bit. So people are really into the game. So you're not necessarily going to sit and just like chat it up next to the person next to you, because they might not appreciate that. So it's just that basic way of kind of connecting with people slowly fades. And I hadn't really thought about that. But I feel that as they get older. And then the other thing, one of the biggest things, I think, is just that those spaces where you could go to ask questions or share the information, or, pop on to like a Facebook or group and say, hey, they're not, potty training isn't going well, or they're not wanting to take a nap, anything. And then you can get all of this feedback and you're connecting with people. But the things that you're dealing with as they get older, you very much are aware that you need to protect them from maybe gossip or from people that may judge them or just, it's no longer really your story to tell. This is their story to tell.
It's such a shift. It's totally different.
It's a huge shift.
Okay, we got to take a short break really quick. Okay, so stay with us. We are going to continue this. We're going to talk a little bit more about isolation, because I don't feel like we've got to touch on all of it. Stephanie will be here with What the Hack, and then come back and join us for the rest of this segment.
What If Moments for Moms is more than just a show. It is a community of moms encouraging each other on this incredible journey we have been called to. Join our private Facebook group to share your mom moments, questions, small victories, and connect with other moms as we all come together in this ministry called motherhood. We can't wait to see you there.
We want to connect with you. Make sure to visit our website, momentsformoms.tv, for the latest episodes of the show, guest information, resources, and so much more. Visit momentsformoms.tv today.
Hi guys, I'm so happy to be back with you. In a recent episode, I shared with you that my husband and I were able to become debt-free with a lot of hard work and a whole lot of prayer. And I learned a lot of things through that journey, but one of the things I want to share with you is the best way to save money is to be organized and to pre-plan. Now, my favorite holiday is Christmas, but it can also be the most stressful holiday. So come into play the Christmas planner notebook that I use. So I use this all year long because I like to shop all year long. And a lot of people will say like, well, how do you know what you bought? Where do you put it? I would lose everything. So I have a notebook. At the beginning of the year, I simply write down everyone's name in there that I need to buy for. And then throughout the year, I can shop. I bring it home. I write it in the planter. I put it in the one gift closet that I have. And by Christmas time, I'm ready. And it takes the stress out of having to rush. It helps you to be prepared. Plus, it helps you to get very personal gifts, which I have an example. A couple of years ago, I went to the Strawberry Festival in March, and I found this beautiful wooden Bradley. And my son drove a Bradley in the Army, and I thought it would be a great gift. And then I found out I could get his Army emblem engraved on the Bradley. It was a super special personal gift that I was able to get taken care of in March. So you can do that throughout the year. You can write in here everyone that you want to send Christmas cards to. You can plan holiday meals and have them all written down. If you see a recipe that you love, you can write it down in here so that you don't forget about it. And listen, something to save money, to spread, well, not really save, but spread money throughout the year. Once a month, buy a gift card from your local grocery store that you know you're going to shop at Christmas time for holiday meals, And by Christmas time, you have $300 to $400 in gift cards to spend on food. So you don't have to spend all that money all at once. You spread it out through the year. You can put an envelope right in your little planner here, put it in the envelope. Because let me tell you, when we were broke, having a savings account was not something we could do. And putting even $25 a month in it just wasn't possible. But for some reason, if I bought gift cards, it seemed possible. So I just wanted to share this with you. I got a wonderful note from a viewer one time because I shared this on a show that I did called Homekeepers. And they told me that she made a whole bunch of them for her friends and for her sisters and her daughters. And she put all kinds of Christmas ideas in them for them and gave it to them as gifts in October so that they could plan and be ready for Christmas. I thought that was a wonderful idea. Now, I do have a Facebook page. If you want to go to it, it's Stephanie's Fan Club. I share all kinds of ideas on there. And the fan club is tongue-in-cheek. We say my mom is the president of my fan club, so it's funny. And also, I have an email. You can email me right here if you have any questions about the Christmas notebook or about anything, really. I'm happy to answer your questions. I'm so happy to be with you guys, and I'll see you next time.
The hat. The city.
Welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed the fun home hack from Stephanie. She always brings the craziest, most fun, most time-saving and money-saving and all of the wonderful things. I'm so grateful for her. So we are talking about the challenges of parenting teens. And my guest is really leading this conversation because I know nothing about parenting teens. So I appreciate you.
You'll be there before you know it.
I know.
But I don't say that in an ominous way.
No. Soon enough. We're just planning our Hot Wheels birthday right now.
Yes. That's good.
Okay, so we were talking about as they're getting older, it becoming a little bit more isolating. But I love how we kind of left that segment. You talked about right now, and even so now, I was part of the formula feeding Facebook group and the December 2020 babies group, so I can ask all of these questions in Facebook in community and get all of these answers. But even so now, that's really dwindled. And everybody that I know that has a toddler at this point is so busy and living in mass chaos that we don't have a lot of time to just connect. Yes. Or there's somebody screaming or doing something crazy in the background. So you're really not having a focused, intentional conversation. But something that you said is that now you're having to kind of protect them. It's not so much about you anymore. It's about them because your 17-year-old daughter doesn't want you spilling all of her beans because she's probably also on social media.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So what is that? It's different.
100%. Yes. So it's just even like I was saying on the way driving here, I was praying okay, Lord, what to share, what not to share. Because they do start to go through different things. And all of my kids, they are so sweet. They are so kind. They make really wonderful choices, but they're also trying to figure themselves out, and they're figuring out relationships and they're figuring out their boundaries.
Yeah.
And our oldest is getting ready to go to college. So she's, just trying to figure stuff out that's not easy to figure out.
Life decisions.
Yeah. And I just, when things happen now, instead of maybe reaching out to multiple people, I will pray okay, Lord, show me who I can talk to. And
That's good.
It really is. And it's a lot of times I'll go to one of my very best friends, Jen. She has known Sophia literally since she was born. She was in the waiting room.
Oh,
and she came in after she was born, held her. She loves her. Our families are so close. We love our children like they're our own. And so I know when I go to her, it's a safe space. Yeah. And she has that love too. Right. And so it's okay, I can talk about everything here. Yeah. But I'm not going to do that with everybody because there are these boundaries now that exist. And like you said, and it starts even when they're young. You can start to see from infant to toddler to preschooler, you're constantly trying to figure out, I think, what the different boundaries are and what to share and what not to share and who's safe or not safe. And I think that just kind of changes with every season. But I do think in the teenagers that can be isolating at times because there are things where it's well, who can I go to? Who should I go to?
Right.
And you just don't want people to judge your children. And unfortunately,
yeah,
they
they
can't.
do.
Oh, and with social media, like you were saying
Yeah.
too, like you have to
we
be
were
careful.
on that growing up.
No.
I mean, we just weren't. We didn't have it. So I just can't imagine how hard that would be alone.
No, they have their entire lives have been documented to some extent. So now I'll show them things before I post them. Is this picture okay?
Yeah.
Is this okay? Just to make sure that they're okay with that story or that image being out there,
really
because
great.
it's theirs.
Yeah.
That's their photo. That's their part of their story.
Right.
And I don't just want to put all of that out there without them being okay with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like you're this big, wide plethora of people really condenses. It comes down to an inner circle of close friends.
Absolutely.
And I feel like it's something that you have to work so hard for too. It takes work to get that close knit. It takes time. It takes calling when you're tired. I mean, I've reconnected with a couple really close friends recently. We were really close before we had kids, and now that we have kids, we've kind of dwindled apart. But the second we made the effort, it's like, oh, we're back. This feels so good. So I'm really trying my hardest. All of us are, to keep this going. Whether it's once a week, once every other week, whatever it is. At least we're trying to pursue those relationships. So.
Well, and that's the thing with your close friends. You can pick it. You can pick it up at any point, and you become the master of the interrupted conversations when they're little, or the tired conversations, like you said with your toddler, where you can maybe talk for a minute, and then you have to stop and run and do something, and then you pick up that conversation, and you figure out how to connect in those different seasons.
Yes.
But it is important.
Yeah.
Hard, but because we're tired, but important.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about, look, I put a sad face by it.
Oh,
I literally drew a sad face on my paper.
That's so sad.
Because it is. Learning how to both hold on and simultaneously let go.
Oh, yes.
It's sad face.
Sad.
It's the sad face.
That is why in May I'm going to be in a puddle on the floor for the entire
coffee
month.
and pillows.
Yes. It is so hard because, especially with my high school girls, I mean, even with Nyla too in middle school, I guess with all of them in some way, but it's this understanding that you have to start to let them fall down. You have to start to give them more space, make some of their own decisions. So for example, some people may agree with this, some people may disagree. I don't know. With our oldest, we didn't really give her much of a curfew. We would talk before everything she was going to do. And we said, until you give us reason not to trust you, we are trusting you. I mean, we always know where she is. Right. We know what she's doing. And depending on, she would be like, okay, be home by 11 or 12. It would shift. But I think part of that was okay, we need to give her some ability to make her own choices and to show us that she is capable of making the right choices. Right. And so it's that kind of figuring out when to let go, but also knowing that they still need structure. And it's just hard. Yeah. It's so many questions will go through my head. Are we teaching them enough at home? Have we taught them enough about the Lord? Are we modeling the right behaviors? I mean, they're just all of these things. Right. But I also think part of the holding on is allowing them to be little still too, embracing that, because kids grow up fast. They feel like they have to grow up really fast. And so just trying to still be kind of playful and encourage those kinds of things too, but letting them have the freedom to go and just get bigger. And also one of the things that I'm trying to remind myself is just because they leave the house doesn't mean I stop being their mom.
That's good. That's so good.
They can, as they go, I can still teach them things and be there for them. Yeah. And it's not like they're going to leave and go to college or wherever they go. And then all of a sudden it's going to be okay, well, I don't need your help anymore. Yeah. They're still, Yes.
But
so I don't even know.
I know this went so fast. We only have a minute left. Oh, I told you it would go so fast. So I want the thing that I think about most, and I will say this so quickly, is also reminding for me, myself, that Charlie is God's child.
Yes.
Because for me, it's like that sense of like, I'm hovering in, like I was just telling you, we were at a little birthday party last night and little boys were wanting to play with him. And I'm like, we need to leave or else I'm going to get in a fight with a 4-year-old. Like just the wanting to like constantly protect, but having to trust that like he is first and foremost God's child and God loves him so much more than I do, which I can't even fathom. Right?
Yes. So I cannot believe you just said that because that was the thing before I went to bed last night, when I was thinking and praying about this, that was exactly what was reminded to me, that Sophia and Amelia and Nyla and Patrick are his. And there's actually a song, the first day that we had Sophia home from the hospital, I was rocking her and listening to this song, and I was thinking that like the words to that song apply always, that she is his. And it's just to remember that no matter what, they are his children.
They're his children
and
first.
he is holding them.
Absolutely.
And it will all be okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, I appreciate it. I'm so glad we got to do this.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Okay, make sure that you all follow Jen, yours truly, Jen. Find her on all of the socials. You can find her in the links to our show also. I appreciate you guys being here so much with us. Dr. Brooks Gibbs will, of course, be here with a mental health moment, so you don't want to miss that. And we will see you next time on What If Moments for Moms.
For the Christian Television Network, I'm Dr. Brooks Gibbs, and welcome back to another mental health moment. Today, we're exploring the powerful impact of a simple yet significant virtue. It's my grandmother's favorite, kindness. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32 was a verse I would hear my grandma quote often. It says, "Be kind and compassionate to one another." Simple enough, isn't it? See, kindness is more than just a nice-to-have quality. It's a reflection of the love of Christ working within us. It's an expression of empathy and understanding that can profoundly impact both the giver and the receiver. When we extend kindness to other people, it not only uplifts them, but it also instills in us a sense of joy and fulfillment. Furthermore, it strengthens our emotional well-being and contributes positively to our mental health. So let's strive to embody and extend kindness in our everyday lives and witness its transformative power. When I think of my grandmother, I think of that Proverbs 31 passage that says, "Kindness was always on her lips." For the Christian Television Network, I'm Dr. Brooks Gibbs.
We want to connect with you. Make sure to visit our website, momentsformoms.tv, for the latest episodes of the show, guest information, resources, and so much more. Visit momentsformoms.tv today.
What If Moments for Moms is more than just a show. It is a community of moms encouraging each other on this incredible journey we have been called to. Join our private Facebook group to share your mom moments, questions, small victories, and connect with other moms as we all come together in this ministry called motherhood. We can't wait to see you there.